और उसकी पिछली सीट में इतना सा ही तो फर्क है। वो जिसका मैदान ही खुला आसमान है, वही कल जमीन पर तो था। पूछोगे तो बताएगा वो पंछी, ये एक दायरे में सिमटने में और पूरी दुनिया को दायरा बनाने में बस इतना सा फर्क है। इतना कितना है? इतना है या इतना है? जो नापेगा वो जाने कि जहां धरती और आसमान मिलते हैं, नानकुर से दूर, अगर मगर शायद से दूर, वहां भी दोनों में फर्क बस इतना सा है। धरती और सातवें आसमान में फर्क बस इतना सा है। ये एक अंतर प्रेरणा है। ये हमारी, आपकी, हम सब की अंतर प्रेरणा है। एक कदम, एक छलांग, एक बाजी, एक गहरी सांस और एक ललकार खुली हवाओं में कि हाँ, मैं बना हूं उन फिजाओं के लिए, कि हाँ, मैं बना हूं उन ऊंचाइयों के लिए जो ऊंची तो बहुत है पर नामुमकिन भी नहीं, क्योंकि मुमकिन और नामुमकिन में बस इतना सा फर्क है। धूप छांव में फर्क बस इतना सा है। तो बस चलिए फ्रेंचाइज इंडिया के साथ ये फर्क मिटा देते हैं। फ्रेंचाइज इंडिया।
Hello and good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us on this webinar called Business Opportunity Over Chai. Business Opportunity Over Chai is a webinar series presented by the management of Franchise India every day at 12 o'clock in the afternoon with an aim to introduce you to a new business opportunity. Every day, we bring exciting and high potential franchise business from across the industry. Over the past 28 years, Franchise India has proudly helped thousands of investors, helping them to choose the right franchise business and successfully start their entrepreneurial journey. Franchise India, as the world's largest integrated franchise solution company, our role is to ensure that your investment is safe by taking an informed decision and your journey from an investor to entrepreneur is smooth and successful. The objective of this webinar is to give you a direct connect with the brand founders, the key stakeholders, understand the business opportunity in detail, and openly ask any sort of question which you may have related to franchise, investment, the growth, before you take the actual decision. In today's webinar, we are going to talk about one of its kind cafe brand called Jab We Met Cafe. Inspired by the iconic Bollywood movie Jab We Met, Jab We Met Cafe is a modern neighborhood cafe brand designed around cinematic nostalgia, emotional connection, and experience-driven dining. Positioned as India's most loved neighborhood cafe, the brand caters to young professionals, students, travelers, and socially active consumers seeking a vibrant and comfortable hangout destination. Jab We Met Cafe blends Bollywood-inspired theme with contemporary cafe culture, creating a highly Instagrammable and youth-focused environment that naturally drives consumers' engagement and repeat footfall. The cafe offers a diversified all-day menu including tea, coffee, beverages, pizza, pasta, noodles, breakfast options, snacks, desserts, and refreshers designed to cater to multiple customer preferences and their day parts. The brand strongly focuses on affordable pricing, social media friendly ambience, standardized operation, and scalable cafe formats includes kiosk, express, and full cafe model. To talk more about this, I'm joined with Ms. Sonia Chaudhary. She's the Managing Director, Franchise India Group, along with one of our leader, Tarun Agarwal, who's the General Manager Sales from Delhi. Both are going to help us understand this business opportunity in detail. But before I invite Sonia ma'am to set the perspective, I would like to inform all the viewers that you also have opportunity to ask questions related to the brand or the business. My request is to please keep on sharing your queries into the Q&A box, and we will take them up during the presentation. I may now welcome and request Sonia ma'am to take the lead. Let's get started.
Thank you, Bharat. And friends, I welcome you all to today's webinar on the franchise opportunity of Jab We Met. It's a brand which is a youth-centric Bollywood-inspired cafe concept, and a very special opportunity because Franchise India has taken the official rights of Jab We Met, and it is inspired by one of the India's most loved Bollywood films. It is not just a movie title, but it is a cultural emotion, I would say, across India, where cinema meets the cafe culture. So while India has theme restaurants and movie-based decor spaces, but Jab We Met Cafe is positioned as a very scalable Bollywood-inspired cafe brand, a youth-led neighborhood cafe concept, which is built around emotional storytelling and lifestyle experience. So overall, if I talk about the movie, I'm sure all of you out here or most of you would have watched the movie. The movie represents friendship, travel, conversation, youthfulness, freedom, and a lot of human connection. And why this matters for a cafe brand, because today cafes are emotional spaces and they're not just food outlets. And when people are visiting cafes, they're looking forward to meeting friends, spending time, also work remotely and relax and socialize. So the entire opportunity identifies naturally, which fits with this consumer behavior. And the position, how we have done that, the cafe is a complete experience-led neighborhood, which is a destination for young professionals, travelers, students, and social groups. The cafe combines affordable pricing, Instagram-worthy ambience, and a high repeat F&B categories. So if you look at our audience, which is a very wide audience, which includes families, unlike many, I would say, Western themed cafe brands, the name feels very Indian, which is very familiar, a family friendly cafe, which is also not very intimidating. So this widens our entire audience acceptance across all groups and across all tiers. So friends, we'll run you through a small presentation on the opportunity for Met Cafe. We're looking at partners across India, and this opportunity, unlike many other cafe opportunities that you would have seen, this is very relevant even for tier 2 and tier 3 cities. So we'll run you through a presentation. We'll talk about the entire business model and also how you can partner with us. We're looking at both, I would say, multi-unit operators, but our larger focus is to have area partners who could take the rights for a city, where Franchise India would also help you to develop the territory within the locations, markets that you would take the rights of. And you can use the Q&A box to ask any questions on the entire business model. So we have also Tarun Agarwal. He's the country head for Jab We Met Cafe. And in fact, we just launched the opportunity about a week back at our show in Delhi. And as we have launched, we have got a very good response overall. And we're also in discussion with a few prospects who are looking to partner with us. So any questions that you have, we'll be happy to take these questions in the course of the webinar, and also happy to discuss with you one-to-one. Yeah. So just to also extend, friends, so Jab We Met Cafe is a brand which has been built for Bharat markets, which is the core strength, and the brand is designed specifically for scalable Indian consumer behavior. And this model works, like I said, for tier 2 and 3 cities because of the affordable premium positioning, a very aspirational but very accessible pricing. So a wider audience reach with compact store formats, faster break-even, strong emotional recall, a Bollywood-inspired identity, which is very, very relatable to all of us. It's a all-day consumption, coffee, snacks, meals, beverages. And we have multiple revenue occasions from youth-centric design, which is students, young professionals who become our repeat consumers. So the brand inspiration and the emotional connect, I would say, is the concept is using nostalgia, familiarity to create an instant brand recognition. We have emotional branding, which also reduces for us as a brand owner and also equally for our partners, the customer acquisition effort and the cost. And the cafe creates a very warm, relatable youth environment. So the entire strong storytelling which the brand has, it actually helps us in social media visibility, viral engagement, which is very, very important for a cafe format, and organic footfall. Consumers instantly connect with the name. It creates nostalgia, curiosity, and emotional attachment even before somebody is visiting the outlet for the very first time. Next slide, please. I think we have covered that. Next slide. So I think we did talk about the menu. So the experience, this is a experience first F&B concept, which is designed for modern urban consumers, which has a blend of, I would say, cinematic nostalgia, contemporary cafe culture, and social hangout experience. The brand positioning is largely vibrant neighborhood cafes. And our revenue opportunities are across our coffee, which is hot and cold beverages. We have meals, which is all day dining meals, hangout occasions, and also grab and go consumptions. So, which helps us to bring a lot of strong repeat footfall due to the all day relevance of our menu, and also repeat audience because of the pricing that we have across all these offerings that we have in the menu. So what really sets us apart? I would say we have a very smart pricing, smarter crowds, affordable pricing strategy, which actually attracts a very mass premium audience. We are positioned between premium cafe chains and local unorganized cafes. And so which needs to have a very high accessibility. That was the idea behind the entire concept that was created. So we need to have, as a brand, higher accessibility for students, office goers, young consumers. And it is designed for quick coffee breaks, casual meetings, long hangouts. And the overall India's cafe market today is shifting also towards affordable premium concepts. Consumers want ambience and experience without overspending. And that's where this opportunity actually fits the bill. So what sets us apart and the main differentiator for Jab We Met is a very strong brand recall that we have, which is a Bollywood-inspired identity that we have on the brand, which helps us to bring a very strong emotional consumer connection and easy word of mouth marketing. Second is the overall experience that we have created, which is driven format designed for conversations and hangouts, which also encourages longer, I would say, dwell times at the outlet. Third, which is very, very important for anyone who wants to have a scalable operation, is to have a very standardized setup. So which helps us and also a franchise partner to replicate our systems very, very easily. And equally, I would say easy for even multi-unit expansion. So somebody who wants to own and operate even multiple locations within the city, this format is very conducive to that. Fourth is our high repeat footfall neighborhood cafe positioning, which encourages daily visiting and eating out potential. And then comes social media friendly because of the visual interiors, organic customer generated content, which also reduces comparatively our marketing dependency. So the brand overall combines emotional branding with operational scalability, which is, I would say, a very rare combination in the cafe sector overall. And the ambience and the format is very, very replicable. And so we have two formats. One is a kiosk format and the other is a cafe. But kiosk can only be done if we have a bigger format and a kitchen which can support the kiosk in the neighborhood of that market. Next slide. So this is what our kiosk would look like. But the kiosk, like I said, will only have places where we have a bigger format, which can work as a feeder for our smaller kiosks. Next slide. Yes, we'll quickly also take you through the entire investment structure. Now, the business advantage is we have flexible real estate options, which is suitable for high streets, food hubs, closer to colleges, corporate clusters, and a lot of transit hubs. And the brand can adapt across multiple formats, locations, which makes expansion more faster and more scalable. So the franchise proposal is, like I said, for both unit partners, multi-unit partners, and also area developers who can own and operate a specific territory where you're required to operate at least one location by yourself. And Franchise India, because we are the brand owners of Jab We Met, our teams would also work with the area developer to further scale and help our partners to sell more franchisees within the market. Now, as an area developer, there are two responsibilities, largely one responsibility, I would say. One is to own and operate a unit by themselves. And the area developer would also, that location, that pilot location would also work as a training store for all the subunits that would come within that territory. And the area developer benefits from the revenue, which comes in the form of franchise fees, which is a one-time fee that we collect on each unit which is sold under the territory. And there is an ongoing monthly fee which our area developer gets, which is in the form of royalties, which is collected every single month. So the area developer gets a portion of the franchise fees, and he also gets a percentage from the overall royalties which are collected from the unit. So we're looking for partners who are operator partners, which is a franchisee operated model. So I'll let maybe Tarun run you through the entire financials, and then we'll be happy to take, friends, any questions that you have on the business model.
Sure, ma'am. Thanks. Good afternoon, all. Yes, WMed, as ma'am very well explained, I mean, this is obviously one of the biggest strength of WMed Cafe is to strong emotional and cultural recall. Because we all must have seen this movie, in 90s, which has been, a quite prominent at that moment. Since the brand is inspired by a highly popular Bollywood movie, it instantly connects with Indian consumer emotions as well as reducing customer acquisition effort and helping create natural word of mouth marketing. So this is an automotive marketing which we have been having in this kind of a cafe, which we have been having in India as of now. The concept also benefit from visual appealing interiors, dialogue inspired decor, as well as the social media friendly, which include the encourage user generated content and organic online visibility. So this has been kind of a brand, whereas we have been targeting in all across in India, in primarily in metro as well as in tier 1 and tier 2 cities, whereas we have been having the neighborhood, the cafes culture all across, plus any of a good mall. Also, this is a kind of a cafe which we can have in any of a good metro station as well as the high street. So we have got three primarily model which we have been working upon. This is of course a small kiosk, express as well as the cafe. The kiosk primarily is focusing on, I mean, if you have got a good space, let's say in a good mall or maybe in corporate office or maybe in the railway stations as well, because this is a kind of a product which we have been selling, which include the category of like the tea and coffee, specific soups, hot and cold beverages, refresher and snacks, small portion of pizza and pasta and noodles as well. So this is a day-to-day, the concept of fooding which is required in any of the corporate as well as the neighborhood areas. The second, the kind of an area which is required for the small kiosk will start with 200, 300 and go to 400 square feet. The kind of an investment is required, of course, approximately 24 lakhs, which include the franchisee fees of 6 lakh as well. The kind of royalty which we have been charging is 6% on the gross sale. So any specific corporate which this kind of a the concept has been running, so easily we are able to make the sale of between 5 to 8 lakh rupees. This is a very good to go sale because there is no the second thought for any of a good corporate which we have been making this kind of sale across. The second is the express model, which we have been opening in any of a good high street, maybe a good, an area whereas the lot of food outlets are there, a lot of eateries are there. So any of a good tier 2 as well as the metro city, we could have easily will find out any of a good location on this kind. Again, the kind of a the franchisee fees will remain the same in the express model as well. The kind of an area which is required a good start with 500 square feet and go to 6 to 7 and 800 square feet, which include the small portion of kitchen as well. Whereas we can, to keep the material for the long term. So the third model, which we have been counting as a cafe. So cafe is a full-fledged menu, which we have got a lot of SKUs in terms of the menu which we have been serving, which include the entire menu of the, the cafe culture format. The kind of an area proportionate to area, the kind of an investment is required is approximately 40 lakhs. The good part again, the franchisee fees of this also will remain as it is. This will be like 6 lakh rupees plus taxes. The tenure of the entire concept is for 5 years, whereas the kind of an ROI for all three formats which we have been calculating is not beyond 15 to 18 months. I mean, the 1.5 years, this is the maximum ROI which we have been calculating. Why? Because the food costing of this kind of a product is very minimum. I mean, we have been assuming the maximum food costing will go up to 30%, whereas the 70% is going to be as gross margin. Out of the gross margin, rent, salaries, and electricity. So we'll be able to earn approximately 35% as a net margin through any of a good concept. So we require the people who is the like-minded, of course, who understand a bit of a food concept, whereas all the support system, supply chain would have been taken care by the franchise India team because this is our own brand. And we have been targeting primarily the master franchising rights for anybody who is, either into industry or maybe not into the industry. But again, all the support would have been taken care by us. The brand support, obviously. So this is what we have got our expertise to figure out best of the location as per the requirement in any of our city. So we have got our own team in place who is going to help you out to figure out the location first. Of course, this architecture, the BOQ and the design would have been given by the company to make it, the fully viable and the visible. The store launch plan. So any of the store which we are going to launch, we'll be having the plan in advance so that we'll be having a good pull through the crowd on the first day. All the recipes and menu have already been designed. We'll share. So recipes have already been designed on the basis of the current market scenario. The people and the cafes who has been working on the same scenario, what kind of a menu they have been running. So the same thing which we have been applied into it. All the training of a staff would have been done by the company. The supply chain, we have got our own vendor who is been supplying the material at your doorstep. So let's say if we have been based out in Delhi and the client has been based out in Mumbai, so we have got our vendor there in Mumbai and Maharashtra who would have been provided the material at your doorstep. The third, obviously, the system, the POS, the IT tools, we have got everything in place. This would have been provided by the company to you. Social media, we have got our own huge social media networks. So the online marketing would have been done by us. We must be requiring the people whomsoever is, taking up the right for the master or maybe the independent franchisee. The local marketing need to be done by him. However, all the support in terms to provide the signage and the graphics would be done by the company. So this is our hotline number. Whomsoever is interested, so definitely we are here to support you entirely in terms to provide the entire support end to end. And this is a good cafe concept which has been demand of the market as of now. So anybody who is interested for the small, maybe the QSR kind of a format or even maybe the cafe kind of a format, we are here to to bring you on board.
Friends, I'd also like to add, and I'll also request Arun if you can also share your email ID and contact number. So typically, when you look at the investment would largely fall under the three broad aspects. One is the franchise fee component, which remains same for any format, which is a cafe or a kiosk that you would open. Second is your cost of fit out, where we would share with you the entire design and the concept and the brand guidelines, which has to be executed locally. And third is the cost of the equipment. So largely your entire investment breakup would fall under these three. Now, any food business, has the following operating expenses. So the first and foremost, I would say, is our cost of food, which is the food cost, which typically in our business is close to about 30% odd. And then comes your occupancy cost, which is your rental, which should be around 20% odd. And then comes the third cost, which is your manpower cost, because our operations are idiot proof, right? It does not require very specialized chef to be trained. So we can bring people, and these are trained at the outlet on our systems, our processes. Both our franchise partners and the staff is trained by us. So your cost of manpower typically in a business model like this would be close to about 12% odd. And your fourth cost is your royalty, which in our case is 6% of the overall revenues that we make, or there's a minimum of 25,000 that we charge. And then comes your utility, which is your electricity, water expenses, which is about 5% odd. In addition to that, there's a 2% of marketing, that has to be kept aside for local marketing and support. Now, all these operating expenses put together, it becomes close to about 75 to 80% odd. So a franchise partner would have 20% of operating margins overall in the business. Now, with our initial set of partners, because we're looking at co-founders and we are very picky about whom we want to partner with. Our initial set of partners would also be our co-founders in the business. So as a brand, we're extremely selective about whom we want to partner with. Having said that, our preference would be somebody who comes with experience in the service industry or F&B industry. But this model is also very, very appropriate for first-time entrepreneurs. So as a brand, we'll work with you end to end and hand-holding from the architect design, architecture, planning for the launch, bringing in influencers, pre-launch, launch, post-launch, the entire menu, recipe support, new product development, training of the staff, the entire supply chain management is done by us, and also technology, PO systems, all integrated. And also there's an ongoing, we have a separate team, which is a centralized team of Jab We Met, that will also work with my partners on the social media engagement and marketing support, which is B2C support once the outlet has been launched. So strong backend support minimizes operational challenges for a franchise partner. And that is where the Jab We Met central team would work with our partners. And our focus is largely on franchise profitability consistency, and that is the reason we are only looking at partners who would be operators, and our focus is to build long-term operating partnership. So overall, if I have to summarize, that the brand has a very strong emotional branding, a very scalable cafe operations, affordable investment, high growth consumer category, ideal for, like I said, first time entrepreneurs, multi-unit franchise operators, existing F&B operators, and we also welcome investors who come with strategic real estate where we can own and operate Jab We Met cafes. So I think somebody's asked a question if we can open in in Satara. Definitely, Ashish ji, we are open. Like I said, our brand is very, very dynamic. We're looking at spaces in tier 2 and tier 3 cities as well. Any other questions?
It's like, what is the AD prices? Kamalji, I mean, the location which you have been targeting, so according to the area and the state, the AD prices has been decided.
And just to add on that, we can speak on the AD pricing because we have split the territory into clusters, and each cluster would have a minimum potential to operate. So depending on the location and the size of the territory that you would want to operate, we can discuss that over one-to-one meeting. And I'll also request friends, if you're keen to know more about the opportunity, and equally for us, we like to know more about your profile, the city that you come from, the experience that you bring, and what you as a partner bring beyond the investment, right? We want to see what kind of strategic fit meant you bring as a franchise partner with Jab We Met. So Tarun has shared his coordinates, including his email ID and also contact number. And also Tarun is traveling all across India. In fact, he was in Kolkata. We had a show in Kolkata yesterday. We spoke to some of our investors. We had a show in Delhi last week. We were able to meet some qualified investors at the show. But it is very important that we understand the profile. We understand the involvement that you would have in the business and who would all, as a part of the business, would operate from your end. So, and that requires a more serious discussion. And we would like to invite you for a discovery day meeting, which can be virtual, or even if it is a local where we are traveling or our local teams are there, we'll be happy to invite you one-to-one. Great. Any closing remarks, if Tarun, you want to make?
Yes, ma'am. So yes, this is the brand which is actually, look, we have been into the market for many long. So we have been going through with a lot of cafes all across. So this is one of the cafe which has been having an iconic, remarkable, the presence as well as a nostalgia which we have been going through with. And this is the license which we have got for, for the India. So now, by keeping all the menu design in mind, so we have kept a very specific menu for any of the the youth and for any of the age group people all across. And we have got a huge menu list with us. So all the menu has been designed by us itself, and we have been targeting the the good areas, good people, good cities, whereas we can expand it well. So we have been looking forward to your support, whereas we can the target the good market analysis things, and we can collaborate and we can grow simultaneously all together.
Absolutely. In fact, you rightly said, I mean, the biggest USP of this particular brand is that it is a Bollywood-inspired concept. The name itself creates an instant emotion connection and nostalgia among the Indian customers, especially the young and the millennial customers. Today, people just don't go only for the coffee. They go there for the vibe, the ambience, the picture, the reels, the hangouts. And Jab We Met is designed exactly for the same, the modern cafe culture. The interiors, the dialogues, the Bollywood-inspired decor, and the overall ambience naturally encourage customers to click a picture, create a content, and share online, helping the organized marketing as well. So overall, I think this can be a first of its a kind of cafe which is Bollywood inspired and really gives excellent vibes when you visit to those stores. So that is what this is all about. And in case if anyone would like to get in touch with us, Tarun has already shared his number in the chat box. You please get in touch with him maybe after this call, and you can get more deep dive knowledge about the brand. I understand that this 30-45 minutes is not good enough to get every, understand every aspects of the business. However, you definitely need to go deep dive into the financials and the other aspects of the business, which, the Tarun can provide you. So I think that's it for the day. Thanks so much, Sonia ma'am, for coming here today, talking about the great brand. Thank you, Tarun, for helping me drive this webinar. And thank you, everyone who joined this, getting some time for us to understand this great business opportunity. In case if you want, just dial us number. So that's it. Thanks so much, everyone, for joining. See you tomorrow with a new brand, and we'll explore another business opportunity. Till then, take care. Have a nice day ahead. Bye-bye.
Thank you.